Go Blue, everybody. Could Michigan win a basketball and football national championship this year? We'll find out. It's all coming up next on Michigan Wolverines Live. And here we go with another episode of Michigan Wolverines Live, episode 243, presented by FanDuel. My name's John D'Adamo, and I'm going to take you through the show here. And we're coming to you live, as always, from YouTube and Twitch and X. But you can also catch us on radio. Check us out on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and iHeart. And as you join us, as always, it would mean the world if you hit the like button. It just takes a second. And it's free. Hit the subscribe because then you know when we're live, and share this out with at least one friend on your groups, on your Discords, on your whatever it is, Instagram groups. You know who you are. I know some of you are here from the Instagram groups. Go ahead and do that. That would be great. As you got comments, you got questions, go ahead and hit the super chat, and we'll post it right at the top. As quickly as we can, we'll get to it. We posted a lot last week for Tony Alford. Tony Alford was very gracious to answer so many of those super chats himself. Go ahead. If you're a member, we'll try to highlight your comment or question as well. And let's bring him on. Each and every Tuesday, we have TJ here joining us. TJ, spring's here, man. It's finally happening.
Yeah, very, very refreshing to get a press conference today with Coach, and man, ready. Let's effing go, man.
Let's effing go, and everybody's ready here. We got Cool Moat, we got Goats here, Quinn in the house talking about hockey Natty. Don't forget about hockey Natty. I don't have a topic prepped on that. That's why, but yes, let's triple it up. Let's go Detroit. Wolverines saying go blue. So many of our members here joining us, and everybody here. We got Moose. That's right, folks, defending the Natty. Welcome everybody in. Appreciate you as always. Y'all make the show happen. DJ, we do have some betting odds as always presented by FanDuel, and we just actually got some. This is an update from earlier in the day. Michigan had been third, right, at 390 to win the Natty. They have now gone up to tied for first with 380 alongside Duke and Arizona on the FanDuel Sportsbook. What do you make of that? Is it maybe a correction of like, okay, maybe the injuries, they're real, but we think that Michigan's going to rally. Maybe a little bit of overreaction to the loss in the Big Ten championship, but now tied for first.
I mean, it could be the books trying to hedge their, where their money's at. It could be that. I mean, look, end of the day, we're up there with the top teams. We look at the LJ case on injury, which we will talk about later in the show. Duke's going through injuries too. So, a lot of these teams are a lot of injuries. With a lot of the top teams. So, it's one of those things where I think no one knows who the clear-cut winner is, but there is definitely, if you look at the metrics, if you look at KenPom and you look at where teams rank, like if they're ranked at a certain spot offensively or defensively, there's only 4 to 8 teams that fit in these categories amongst the different rankings, between Torvik and KenPom and all of these. And I think it's pretty open field, but we'll get into it. We got a lot to talk about. We'll talk about Michigan basketball a little bit later in the show. Excited.
Absolutely. Can't wait. And we also want to thank our newest sponsor, Freedom Services EPC, quality you can trust, people you can count on, serving all of the USA's oil and gas needs. Shout out to Freedom Services for being here and being a sponsor. This is the time, man. March Madness, and they're here with us.
Yeah, man. Things are great. I mean, football is about to be picking up. I mean, information is about to be coming in. I mean, I'll tell you this, and we are going to cover this today's press conference, and a lot of juicy nuggets, man, and a lot of confirmation to what we have said the past few weeks, which we're excited to get into.
Absolutely. So the theme of our show is the possibility of winning a national championship in football and basketball. So since we are Voice of College Football, we're going to start with football and what that could look like. And it all begins with spring. And so today begins the spring season, which is very exciting. And we actually have, there it is. That's the official graphic here. With the Hail of the Victor song, by the way. So yep. I thought we did a great job there. A little bit of foreshadowing. And then we begin with what I thought, TJ, was a very candid, frank,
That's right.
transparent
conference
from new coach Kyle Whittingham. I just, after 2 years of feeling like you had the wool over your eyes, it was refreshing to just see somebody in command of the podium, somebody who answered honestly. We have a lot of juicy tidbits from the press conference. What was your take there?
Yeah, I mean, he knows the mission, man, and he's in control. That's just the reality. He knows the mission. He's in control. He's, I'll say this, although I should probably save it to the end of all the topics we're going to hit on, but there's not anything he said I didn't believe. What I mean by that is the conviction, the approach, the standard, the expectations. And we're going to hit on a couple items that I'm sure some of you are already aware of that he hit on that were kind of like, oh, really? That's interesting, I don't think he's bullshitting at any of it. I think he knows. Listen, he knows what they know how to identify talent. And there's going to be a lot of over the topics we're going to hit on. That'll become, in my opinion, very clear when you start talking about the wide receivers and you start talking about the level of talent that Michigan has versus other schools. And so we'll hit on all that. But I do think coach is in command and knows exactly what he wants right now. So I'm pretty excited about it, man.
Absolutely. And if you all have a take, don't forget to hit the super chat and let us know what your take is, because we've got some things to share. But I bet you all also have some thoughts and some questions from it. So go ahead and hit that super chat. But let's begin with this shocking situation here, and specifically the revelation that Tommy Carr is QB2 or is contending for QB2. TJ, earlier in the season, we thought it might be Foster Nicolosi, or it might be someone else. And it sounds like Tommy Carr is really impressing early on, and you can see why here in the tape.
Yeah, I mean, look, the fact that Kyle Whittingham, and shout out to Quinn, by the way, who is a major Tommy Carr fan. The fact that Whittingham, and you could see in the huddle tape a lot of this kid's skill, ability, and attributes, but the fact that Kyle Whittingham is saying a freshman is standing out already. Now, pads are not on, right?
Right.
It's not fully live, clearly. But the fact that that's what they like. See, that's one of the things I'm going to tell you all right now that Whittingham absolutely loves in his quarterbacks is the dual capability. And Tommy Carr has it. Look at him. He goes outside of the pocket. He can take off and run. He can make the throws at all three levels. I mean, there are, it's interesting with the Tommy Carr debate. There are scouts who feel he was not evaluated fairly. I've read some 247 scouts. I've listened to some others say it's possible they missed on Tommy Carr. Like he was not, which is crazy considering his brother. Like you would think there would be a bigger spotlight.
Good old CJ.
Yeah, but end of the day, I mean, the fact that he is already standing out, making noise, and Coach Whittingham signified a QB2 placement already. Now it's early. We'll find out how spring ball goes. That'll obviously be the next test. But, I mean, great signs there, John.
Yeah, and I mean, we knew that Bryce Underwood was going to be QB1, and Kyle Whittingham did say, definitively QB1. But the Tommy Carr thing was truly a surprise.
And great news.
Great news, and it feels real. And when you look at the huddle tape, it's not exactly surprising, right? He can do anything on the field. He can make any play. And that's what you're looking for in a backup who may have to start at some point. You want somebody who isn't going to be, limited. Jason Beck's playbook is very dual threat, right? Like he has, now granted, it's simple after the snap, but pre-snap, there's that thinking of like, okay, am I going to throw? Am I going to run? Am I going to hand off? And there's a lot of RPOs, pre-snap, judgment calls, and then you play football. But you need somebody to be able to execute all three of those at a very high level. And it sounds like Tommy Carr is the one who's they feel is number 2 at that right now.
Yeah, and that's what. Listen, QB play under Kyle Whittingham and Jason Beck is going to be exciting. It's not going to be your old pro style handed off 2 out of 3 downs. Like that's not the Jason Beck or the Kyle Whittingham offense. Okay, so that's it. But good news for us, Bryce Underwood fits that style of play very well. Tommy Carr is athletic enough, fits that style of play very well. Colin Hurley, the other very promising player, is also right up his lane. Then we got Fowler Nikolsky, who many of us assumed would be the QB2, the transfer out of Colorado State. But again, though, real practices are about to go down. Fowler Nikolsky does have the experience on his side. He's seen defenses Carr has not. So that is where the next step in this, I guess, QB2 battle is going to take place, spring practice, and we should have tons of updates on that.
For sure. So a very interesting first revelation there from Coach, but that wasn't all.
That was not all.
We talked about this.
That's right.
On multiple occasions. That we felt that Savion Hyder was going to get starting time his first year. Well, it sounds like Savion Hyder and some of the other freshmen, and let us know in the chat or a super chat who you think the other freshmen are. But it sounds like Kyle Whittingham has a very high opinion already on Savion Hyder, which isn't surprising because if you listen to our Coach Tony Alford interview, Coach Alford was very glowing about Savion Hyder. He believes he's a true talent, and here we go. It's confirmation of that here, TJ.
2 weeks ago, we brought to the channel, there's some hype about Savion Hyder. A lot of hype. And we used the word special. And we talked about how the buzz, there's like some very serious buzz about this kid's athletic profile and what he's already bringing to winter conditioning. And I proposed, I completely changed my distribution. I thought it would be 60-40, Jordan Marshall, Savion Hyder. I thought that previously, no, my updated distribution was 50-50. Now I'm going to be honest with you. It's not out of the realm of possibility that Savion Hyder gets more reps, especially if he's the hot hand. If he's the hot hand in the game, which will determine whenever we have these running back debates, the reality comes down to in-game production, unless you have something on the head coach. But typically,
allegedly,
but typically, it comes down to in-game production. Whoever's the hot hand. I'm going to tell you, Savion Hyder, and we fucking listen. If anyone did not believe what has been preached about, then you ain't watching his film, because we've talked about this. I even gave him the comparison, and if Johnny Olden's watching right now, he's going to yell at me. But Adrian Peters, he reminds me of a young Adrian Peterson. Now, Johnny Olden's comparisons, Saquon Barkley. That's high praise. I made a comment that, Savion Hyder is the archetype, the athletic profile of a Heisman winner. Now, I'm not saying he's going to win a Heisman freshman year. I am saying he has the potential, without question, the athletic profile to be a Heisman winner. That's the type of talent this is. And that is why Kyle Whittingham's already brought him up. Our very first press conference, John, Did he say anyone else was going to be not that no one else is going to be special, but my point is the fact that he brought up Savion Hyder and said he
Singled
will
him
be
out.
special in the very first press conference before spring practices even commence.
Right.
Tells you all you need to know. It's real. It doesn't mean Jordan Marshall's not a damn good running back. Jordan Marshall is a top 10 running back in college football. So if we're saying that Savion Hyder is this good, like now imagine that duo of backfield now. Because guess what? The good news for us is we got them both. They're both running for Michigan, right? So exciting. I think it's major news. It only confirms what we mentioned a few weeks ago, and it only confirms what we've heard behind the scenes in terms of just buzz. Like, yo, turning heads, standing out. That's the word. So fully anticipate very promising news coming out of spring camp over Savion Hyder. He's a player you can get excited about. I know some people like to have this like caution approach. And I'm not saying to never have caution. Like, listen, I take cautious approach all the time. Like John Henry Daly, I'm very cautious about that. Because he's coming off of an injury, which we'll get into that as well.
We will.
But sometimes, and I am telling you, I know Savion Hyder is about to be a fucking dog, bro. I know this. I can see it in this film. Just like we talked about Andrew Marsh. If you watched I promise, if you watch our player reactions or the player analysis videos when these kids commit, I'm very transparent on what I believe in these kids, and Savion Hyder is, in my opinion, undeniable.
Yeah, I mean we've shown his film a few times now, which is why we're not showing it here. But you guys, there's plenty of episodes where we've shown it. But just the insane speed of Savion Hyder in high school, it's unreal. And we've talked about comparisons to like early Blake Corum when he was coming in, and some of but even in some cases maybe a little bit better. I mean, it's really check the film out for yourself, because you'll see what we're talking about. Just the way that he just escapes and goes to the end zone, the way that he evades defenders, his moves that he makes. He's wise beyond his years, and he's a player beyond his years.
This may sound blasphemous, but there are people inside Schembechler Hall who think Savion Hyder is better than last year's running back duo. Think about that. Justice Haynes was on pace for a Heisman. Jordan Marshall played very well. All Big Ten level well. It's the type of player we're talking about. Big time. Underwood's big time, and then we are definitely getting these wide receivers. We'll get to super chat, I promise. Don't worry. I definitely have a take on that, but we'll get to it.
Yes. And yeah, so with that said, obviously you need a balanced offense. And I will say that Jason Beck, he was able to have a mixed approach. The run game was really good, but I think that we sleep on his ability to take like a Devin Dampier and some of the receivers that he had. And it looked like an offense that could do anything. And that's really where we get into the wide receivers. And TJ, back last year, the year before that, there was maybe one decent to good wide receiver. And now,
I'm sorry, what year?
Down. What was that?
What you said? What, last year or the year before?
Yeah, like basically there was an Andrew Marsh, or there was a Roman Wilson, or there was, right. And I'll even throw Colston Loveland in there, even though he was a tight end technically. But like there was one threat. Now,
pretty much, passing game one.
Coach Whittingham is naming 4 potential threats in the receiving game. Andrew Marsh, which we knew, of course. Jamie French, JJ Buchanan, and Salisi Moa, all he considers to be leading the pack. And you'll see JJ Buchanan subtle. And this is literally why.
Before you play, though, hold on. Before you play, John, if you can pause it, let's suspense the audience. No, we can keep it up, but we told you. Like, this is, I love this is one of the things I love about doing this. One of the things I love about the what's the word I'm looking for? We have the opportunity. We have the opportunity to give takes And then that same reality is we have the opportunity to look like idiots, or we have an opportunity to look like we know what the hell we're talking about. Okay. And that's one I love this shot. I'm a big believer in you call your shot, you give your takes. John, we have been asked and we have talked about who do we think the starting receivers are next year. And the four that were mentioned by Whittingham are the exact four.
Wow.
That we've hit.
Shocking.
We've given the nod. We've given the nod to Travis Johnson. We believe Travis Johnson is an extremely talented player, right? And Whittingham talked about the next four, which we'll get into that also. But listen, before we show this huddle tape of JJ Buchanan, which I believe like one of the goals we want to do at this channel is bring awareness to the viewers. Like, you need to know about this. That's what our show does. We try to bring to the attention what you guys need to know about. And if you already know, we'll enjoy it again. But the point being is, with JJ Buchanan, with Andrew Marsh, with Jamie French, and Celestia Moa, they're all versatile, interchangeable players. They can go inside, they can go outside. It's extremely nasty, the versatility of these four. And that's what's exciting. And John, if in one of the studs of this four is JJ Buchanan. Play this huddle tape. If you have not seen JJ Buchanan from Utah, this is one of those diamonds in the rough that Kyle Whittingham found. Watch this kid. This is a tight end converted to wide receiver because of his athletic profile.
The extension ability.
Yeah, this kid has the ability to play inside, outside, very fast, extremely agile, extremely just quick and athletic for his size. Like, this is not normal. Like, it is my opinion. I will make this call right now. I believe he will be a Sunday player. He will play in the NFL. Look at this kid. This kid is 6'5", ladies and gentlemen. 6'5" and moves like a wide receiver, originally a tight end. When you continue to watch this kid's huddle tape, you will see the ability. Now, imagine him on the inside. Imagine him playing slot. Imagine him going up against a linebacker. Imagine him on the outside. Imagine him playing the X role. Imagine him stretching the field. He has the ability to stretch the field. An extremely versatile piece in the Jason Beck offense. And then you talk about Jamie French. You talk about Celestia Moa. We know what Andrew Marsh can do. Now imagine what Andrew Marsh is going to do without being doubled and triple teamed, because you can't do it. And if you do it, you're going to one-on-one one of these other kids. Jason Beck's offense, John, and I'll let you, I just want to bring this point, is so versatile.
Grab 2 seconds. I'll let you roll here for 2 seconds.
Go for it, John. Yeah, so Jason Beck's offense is so versatile, where the way he uses his pieces, and he even talks about this, they're going to line these offensive weapons all over the field. The defenses are not going to know what's going to come. It could be RPO. It could be a quick pass. Who knows? They're going to keep the defenses off balance. But one of the things too in college football is by alignment you can project or predict what play is coming. Jason's Beck offense is, due to its versatility, makes that so hard on the defense. It makes it extremely tough on the defense. So now you have this hybrid tight end who's really a wide receiver now. You have this hybrid wide receiver. Watch. Look at this. Look at his hands. That's a hands catcher. Love hand catchers. This kid's going to thrive. I promise you. JJ Buchanan is going to thrive at Michigan. Andrew Marsh is going to thrive at Michigan. Celestia Moa is a true athlete who should develop. Now, I will say his, and I will talk about Jamie French in a second, but Celestia Moa, his ceiling to me is a little unknown because he's really not established yet, but he can grow into a role, right? So what they do with Celestia Moa, I believe he's going to be more of an inside, slot type wide receiver, but the reverses, the end arounds, that's going to be Celestia Moa's game. I strongly feel that's how they'll use him. And then obviously quick passing, quick routes, he should thrive. That said, we also have Jamie French. Jamie French, to me, is nearly identical to playing style to Andrew Marsh. Now, I don't anticipate Jamie French to I don't want to put the same exact production expectation on Jamie French as a freshman Andrew Marsh, especially because there's going to be so much ball to go around. There's only so much ball. But I do anticipate Jamie French to have a damn good first year here. maybe around 500 yards receiving, 5 touchdowns, quality first season here. But I do feel, unlike Texas being able to help Jamie French reach his full potential, I do anticipate Jamie French showing very good development in Michigan and being a player that will be here. Obviously, he has 3 more years of eligibility. So anticipate Jamie French. That's another thing too, John, before I let you go. Every single one of these players is a freshman or a sophomore. Has 3 to 4 years of eligibility. The future of this offense is here. The hurdle is going to be transfer portal if that becomes a problem, but hopefully it won't be. Michigan is very well. But end of the day, to your point, John, this is not the same offense Michigan used to run. Look, we just talked about Saban Hyder. We just talked about Jordan Marshall. Now you're talking about these 4. This offense is going to be very good. It's going to be very good. How good, to be determined. But it's going to be a damn good offense.
And you think back, this man, this coach, came into a situation. It tumultuous is being nice with how crazy it was. If we all go back to mid-December and late December when we were all covering this, and to go from that and the uncertainty that Michigan had back then to keeping Marsh, because that wasn't a guarantee, to landing French and Buchanan and Moa, that's an experienced, driven head coach who's trying to win a title early. Because that's it. Most coaches have the benefit of time. Most coaches have the benefit of a year to do this stuff or more. And he comes in and right away he starts to retain people. He starts to interview people in Florida. Then he retains people. Then he brings in his people. Then he brings in players. He brings in recruits. And this is the result. In just a few months, Michigan has a better receiving core than they've probably had in years.
Yeah, the potential of this receiving core is the highest it's been since the Tariq Black, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Nico Collins, and Oliver Martin recruiting class. Without question, that this is the highest it's been. Now clearly that one would argue, well, that didn't work out. Like DPG never met his potential. Tariq Black had foot injuries. Oliver Martin unfortunately never transpired. That sucked. I really liked Oliver Martin. Nico Collins developed in the NFL. But he missed his year to be alpha was 2020. Unfortunately, COVID took that away from him, and he decided he wanted to go to the league. But, bro, listen, I'll tell you this. And I see Steve. I see Ohio State Steve in the Twitter comments. I see you, Steve. I see you. I am very confident. I am so fucking confident. These wide receivers are going to produce, and I'm very confident this offense is going to be good. I feel confident saying it'll be a top 30 offense. I've had conversations with people who think it could be top 20. I've had conversations with people who think it could be top 10. I'm not ready to go there because a big part of that's going to come down to Bryce Underwood's development and his ability to run this offense. But I do see a top 30 offense, and that should be pretty exciting for Michigan fans because we've not had a top scoring, top production 30 offense in quite some time. Since the Natty year. So I guess quite some time is true, but in terms of scoring, it was Natty year.
I can't help myself here because you brought this up. I can't help myself. Notice that Steve isn't saying he's a bad coach because he can't, because his savior, Urban Meyer, has said the most glowing things. So he has to go to this now that he's old. Because he can't say that he's a bad coach.
Yeah, that's all
that's when you know he's a good coach, when the Buckeyes can't even admit it.
Well, guess what? It just means our Natty window is about 5 years. We'll get into that. We'll talk about Michigan's Natty chances in a minute. Now, Moose mentioned the two-way ability of Celeste Moa. They're going to play him at wide receiver first. He's going to get full focus at wide receiver, and then they may transition him a little bit to the back end of the defense, see if he can play two ways. And Whittingham at Utah does do that. Like, he has a track record of doing that. Vaki, Sione Vaki. They did that with the running back for the Lions now, who was a safety converted. So they did do this. That's wait and see. We got to spring ball. You got to let the kids marinate. That's just we got to see how they handle. You throw them in the water, see if they can swim. That's pretty much how it's about to go down.
And Marmar's not wrong. An old guy beat OSU in the Big Ten championship, and an old guy beat everyone and won the Natty. Right. So right. I mean, listen, Whittingham for being in his 60s is a very young 60s, and if you like, he can beat out guys 20 years younger than him at Peloton, and all that. We've already hashed that all out, but what I see is a very driven and motivated coach who has done everything except win a Natty. He's won his conference championships. He's won rivalry games. He's won games against Dan Lanning. He's won games against Lincoln Riley. He's won big games. And the one thing he hasn't done is win a national championship. So he wants to do that now.
Yeah, I mean,
period.
Listen, I don't care if you're a rival or not. How do you not see Kyle Whittingham competing for a national title in the next 5 years? Don't show your lack of knowledge in football if you think that's not a thing, because he will. Michigan's going to compete for national championships. I'm very confident in that. We'll get into that more. I mean, listen, we have all off season to debate those things, but I feel confident about it.
And while he didn't talk a lot about the national championship today, he did talk about that the expectation for Michigan should always be to be up there for the Big Ten championship.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And if you're not at the top, then there's something wrong.
That's right. He says the expectations is contend for Big Ten championship. Absolutely. Now, what I would love for him to say, but I understand why he didn't say it, is because he's in year one. He doesn't know yet what he has. He has an idea. He's watched film. He talked about that. You watch film, and then look, these kids get a clean slate with a new coaching staff, right? So, listen, what I would love him to say is, yes, expectations of Big Ten championships, playoffs, and national championship. But he's going to say Big Ten championship because that's the current objective. You win the Big Ten championship, you're going to the playoffs. You win the Big Ten championship, you're likely a Natty contender. So they're going to keep the main focus on the initial target. That's fine. And obviously we'll watch the season and we'll see together, are they or are they not? Is this or is this not a successful season? I know a lot of people, the watermark is 10 wins. It is for me. It is for a lot of fans. The schedule's tough, but it is what it is. It's what it is. As Tony Alford told us last week, it's a results business. No one cares. Win.
Just win, baby. Al Davis. And we were talking about this backstage before the show, but we talked about Coach Whittingham and naming the top four, but then you also mentioned, well, who could the next four be?
That's right.
And because the one that I was a little surprised I didn't hear about was Channing Goodwin, and listen, I know people have their opinions, but I still think there's some talent there. So if he's not in one of the top four, could he make the next group of four?
Right. Well, let's talk about it. One of the things Whittingham said in his press conference today was, all right, listen, those are the four, which, by the way, we didn't even hit on this. 4 wide receiver sets, boys. Utah runs. Jason Beck will run 4 wide receiver sets. Like that's 4 is starting for them. Now they'll probably have 3. They'll probably run trips. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
But
they will.
Yeah, of course. But the point is, like, there's going to be 4 main guys, right? There's going to be 4 on the field a lot. Then you have, and he mentioned this, your next 4, because you typically run with 8. You typically run with 8, John. Now, I did make a list of who I think the next 4 are.
Love to hear.
Do you want to maybe go one by one on it, or like what do you think?
Let's go.
Okay, so I'll go first.
Yeah,
and I'll cheat because we know who one of the next 4 are, and it's Travis Effin Johnson. That's who we know. That we know. I know he's a freshman. I don't give a shit. Travis Johnson is nice, and he's going to find his way on the field a little bit. I feel confident in that.
I'm with you. He is absolutely one of my 8. Right, Travis Johnson. When he was retained, and he could have obviously had options. Right, he is a serious talent. He chose to buy into the vision of Kyle Whittingham, and I think one of the reasons was because Jason Beck's offense is more accommodating to wide receivers than we saw under Sharon Moore. So I think Travis Johnson, I think he has the ability. Do I think he's going to see the field a lot in the beginning? No. But do I think that over the season they'll find ways to bring him in? I think his speed is excellent. I think he's got the hands, he's got the frame, he's got some of these things that you really want to see. And it is going to be a real meritocracy. So he could easily start to work his way back in. So I'm with you on that one. I think Travis Johnson's one of the 4 for sure.
Okay. Who do you got next?
So since I brought him up, I'll bring him back up. I think Channing Goodwin is one of the 8.
We agree.
I think he's gonna be used more as a gadget, or in the slot, or in the in certain concepts, but he has playing time at Michigan. And whether he's mostly utilized as just a blocker with a little bit of that speed that he has, or whether they attempt to get him to throw some passes, which, by the way, I think with the wide receiver coaching improved now, that's possible that he could improve his passing game. I think we're going to see him in the 8 for sure.
Yep. So I have him in the 8. I will take Jamar Browder next. So that puts us at 7. I think Jamar Browder is going to be a quality player. I think he'll develop, and I'm excited to watch Jamar Browder. I think a lot of us have high hopes for him. He's very talented.
Yeah. I don't even think there's the question. I think he's going to be in the conversation for backup X.
Yeah.
And
that's where I have him.
Get some play. I think you're going to see him in game 1. In the 4th quarter of game 1, he'll be in the X. If knock on wood, assuming Michigan takes care of business against an opponent like a directional Michigan.
I mean, it's possible in goal-wise sets. They got Jamar Browder and J.J. Buchanan opposite sides. I mean, we'll see how they use that. I mean, shit. Yeah, that could be fun. Now 8 is where it gets tough. I think this is where me and you may disagree. Who do you have as your 8th?
So I think one of the most underrated players that people continue to miss in their list.
Can I say who I think you're going to say?
Is Jalen Pyle.
Oh, shit. No. Okay, go on. All right, go.
Jalen Pyle. So I think he's got the speed. He ran an 11.9500 as a sophomore. He has the speed. He has hands. He's 6 foot. I think he'll bulk up a little bit. This is a player that I believe is one that people consistently sleep on, but I think he has a chip on his shoulder because of that. Yeah. And I think he's going to surprise people and make his way into the 8.
So I like Jalen Pyle, the prospect, the player. I believe he's a developmental. I'm encouraged by him. I thought you were going to say Kendrick Bell. I thought you were going to say Kendrick Bell.
Hey.
So my 8th is Jacob Washington.
That's
simply because of talent alone. He's a 4-star blue chip player, runs very well, has some route development he needs to get better at, but that's my 8. But I'll tell you this. That's a pretty nice 8. I mean, it's Michigan. Now listen, Steve. I know you're watching. Is it Ohio State? No, it's not Ohio State's wide receiver room, but your running back room ain't our room either, son. Anyways, but it's good, and it's going to be good enough for this offense, and it's going to give Bryce the weapons and the options he needs to have consistent, sustainable drives, and that's what it's about. And it allows Jason Beck to have the versatility he needs to move players all around the field, keeping defenses off balance, and that's exactly what they're going to do. And I'm not going to lie, to me, looking at this offense, it looks very healthy and very good. And I think that's something we can 100% get excited about. 100% get excited about.
Yeah. And this is a nice problem to have if Jalen Pyle or Washington join Kendrick Bell on the outs. That means that you got seriously stacked room when literally just months ago we were worried if freaking Andrew Marsh was going to be sticking around. And now you've got 8 solid wide receiver talents, 4 really good ones, and then
I'd say 5. I'd say 5 I fucking love. 5 I love, and then the next 3 are intriguing. I mean, they're interesting players that, listen, to be complete, and let me just throw some reality at this too.
Mm-hmm.
The next 4 that we mentioned will not all be starters at Michigan because Michigan's going to do transfer portal. Michigan's probably going to land another top wide receiver as a freshman. So the good news is the top of the food chain is going to be in a good spot, and they're going to rotate it, and it's healthy, man. It's very exciting. It's very nice.
Very nice. Yes, it is. And so I'm excited. Yeah, this is, while I agree with you, I don't think it's quite Ohio State caliber. Ohio State lost the best wide receiver coach they've probably ever had, and definitely the best recruiter they've ever had. So they're not as high up anymore as I think before when they were the undisputed by far best wide receivers, but they're still excellent. Obviously, Jeremiah Smith and beyond. However, I do think that this puts Michigan in a tier that before Michigan was probably in the bottom tier.
Ooh,
I think it's fair to say at least they're mid-tier and maybe in the top 4.
Yes, I think, now listen, I'm going to be honest. I need to do a deeper dive on all the big all right, so in the Big Ten, I don't know this answer, but I would argue we have a top 5 receiving core in the Big Ten. I'd argue that. Listen, I think we would all agree Ohio State's is higher, Oregon's is higher. Probably USC's is higher. I'd have to look at some other teams, but like it's possible I'm sleeping on a Washington, or I'm sleeping on definitely ain't sleeping on Michigan State. I'll tell you that, garbage ass little brother Maxwell. I think we're probably in the top 5. I think we probably are. I listen, I've not looked at all the rosters, and I'm sure Garrison has an answer for me, but
Michigan State's probably in the top 5 of hazing now, with Coach Weenie Wash coaching the team. So
too soon, John.
Too soon? Okay.
Why is it every program's dirty as fuck, bro? Like, geez, shit going on Northwestern. You got Ohio State, you got Michigan State, you got us. Jesus, we all know Penn State's history. What the fuck's wrong with college?
Yeah. Crazy stuff.
What a world, man. Anyways, back on track.
What a world. So, we were wondering about the injury situation, especially with Rod Moore, Henry Daly, Babalola. What was going to happen? It does look like they're playing it for the most part. They're really working on player management with all 3 of them, and it does sound like Coach Whittingham is giving Rod Moore, John Henry Daly, and Andrew Babalola all the time to rest that he possibly can, so that they're fresh for fall and the season. What do you think about that strategy? And out of the 3, he did mention that one of them or 2 of them may get a few reps. Who do you think might be that 1 or 2? But yeah, what do you think about this approach?
Listen, I'll say this. It's the best. It's the best course of action. Like, if we want Rod Moore to play next year, it's best to go slow. Mm-hmm. Okay. John Henry Daly, there's no choice. He's recovering from an Achilles. Apparently he'll be back around June. They want him to get ready for fall ball, right? So that's good. Babalola is coming off of an ACL injury. That's typically a 12-month injury. Now, he got injured, what was it, like the fucking first or second week of fall ball? It was early.
It was fall. Yeah, I think it was fall ball.
Yes, it was. And so, dude, 12 months is August in itself. He won't even be back until just maybe a little before, right around there. So Moore would be the only one, but I can't see them pushing it. Babalola, yeah. Now, listen, I've actually adjusted my offensive line projections because of this Babalola stuff. Like, it really does take 12 to 18 months to get back to 100%, like to 100%. Now you can play on 12. And some players, people even come back a little before then, but yeah, I mean, it's just, look, it is what it is. It sucks. It sucks because all three of them are X factor impact players. Rod Moore is an all Big Ten safety. John Henry Daly is one of the best edges pre-injury in college football. And Babaloa is a extremely promising offensive tackle. It is what it is, though. So we just got to ride it out. One thing I did like hearing though is they didn't talk about John Henry Daly taking a medical redshirt. Now they wouldn't do that. They would not, because they're not at that point where they. But let's see if John Henry Daly is able to practice in the fall. Let's see if Rod Moore is able to practice in the fall, and let's see about Babaloa when they want to start him. But I will say, I have now changed my mind. I did think Babaloa would be the starting left. Like my thought was, okay, well, starting left tackle would be Babaloa, but after like deeper reflection on it, it's not happening. They're not rushing this kid off of an ACL. You know, they have Blake Frazier. He's gonna be your left tackle. Okay, that's just likely what's going to happen. So, and that's why bringing back Evan Link was so critical, because Evan Link can slide inside. So,
yeah, he can be guard.
He will be guard. I'd put money on it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think out of these, and first of all, like, again, this is another example, and you're going to see a bazillion examples of this. You know, my really scientific word there, bazillions of examples of Whittingham's experience. This is an example of Whittingham. He's not rushing. He's going to run the program his way, and he is not going to rush anybody. Okay, he wants these players to be in the best position to play in the fall, that if they can play in the fall. And so I would say in the spring we might see a little bit of Rod Moore, and the reason we might see a little bit of Rod Moore, he's been working on his recovery a long time. On top of that, his leadership. I think they're going to at least want to sprinkle him in a little bit, if nothing else, just to get everybody set, work on some of these defensive concepts. He's going to be one of the first to grasp all the new stuff that Hill is bringing in, right? And that Whittingham's dad, as he said in the press conference, Whittingham's dad in '93 started this kind of the concepts and the schemes and brought them over. And I think it's going to be Rod Moore that'll be in the mix a little bit out of the three. Not all the time, but I think he'll at least do a little bit of practice. He'll be that quarterback of the defense a little bit to prepare for fall and the season. I'd say out of the three, that's who I would say Whittingham was alluding to as maybe playing a little bit. What do you think about Rod Moore being the one that might
in spring camp
be who he was referencing as like they might play a bit
in spring camp?
Yeah,
I would say that's the logical. Yeah, I mean that'd be the logical one. I mean, if we had to do a process of elimination, that's who I'd go with. So we'll see. But John, are we done with that topic? Because I do have something we should bring to the channel.
Yes.
All right. Michigan football just released.
Oh, snap.
I think I'm going to mute it just in case the music's copyrighted. But
yeah,
day one, day effing one here. I wish we could hear it, though.
I think I saw Kendrick Bell a little bit there.
There you go. Go, boys. We're ready. Look,
they're getting
football
at it
here, boys. Let's go.
Yes.
I miss it. I fucking miss it. What is wrong with us? We're like, just this excites us. Like, that's so crazy. That's sicko shit, but it's okay.
Because they're getting after it. They are really getting after it, man.
Let's play it again. Play it again.
Run it back.
I miss it, bro. There's Kerry Combs, Jason Beck. Kendrick Bell with the hand catch.
Kendrick Bell catch.
That's number 12, Celeste Moa. That's Frazier, Luke Hamilton. And we all know who Bryce is.
Really love seeing them get after it like this.
Yeah, dude. Who's 5? Is 5 Saban Hyder? I think he is, right?
Think so.
Was that saving high? Let me get a look at that again. Where is he? Were you at 5? No, I was right here. Oh, I went too far back. So I was there's Hyder. Just a small glimpse.
Little glimpse.
It's like it's not fair.
They're not going to show much of the talent super quick, but
Andrew Marsh.
There's Marsh. I love that they ended on a Marsh catch.
They know what they're doing.
They know that social media team, man. They know what's up. That's fantastic. And so y'all, this just dropped, so we're literally just showing this, but I know it's early. I know it's propaganda film. I know that there's probably some mistakes that we're not seeing and being realistic, but here's what I love.
Fuck that.
They're getting
I believe in it. I believe everything.
They're getting after it. And
That's right.
Clearly Kyle Whittingham knows how to run a program.
Yeah, I mean, look, I told you, here's my expectations. Hold me to it. I don't give a shit. 2015, Jim Harbaugh stepped in. You saw a different team.
Immediately.
I anticipate the same thing. It doesn't mean we're going to be a Natty champion year one. No, it doesn't mean that. It means we're about to watch a good, well-coached football team. I believe that. I'd put money on it.
Well, just like when Captain Claps a Lot and oops, I forgot my headset at home got replaced by Jim Harbaugh. Well, Captain OnlyFans getting replaced by Kyle Whittingham. Same situation. You're now seeing a real football team again, a genuinely well-coached football team.
That's right. Will
there be mistakes? Yes. But I expect the penalties to drop from last year. I expect at least people to be in their places.
Yep.
I expect a head coach that actually knows how to challenge, knows how to call timeouts. It's going to be nice because Johnny Olden said once, it's nice when the coaches know better than a lot of the fans. It felt like the last few years, like Johnny, he was like, I knew better than it felt like I knew better than the coaches. And I believe he did.
I promise you, I feel confident my timeout ability is better than Stromar's. I feel confident I'd be better at timeouts.
Yeah.
Madden has prepared me. Yeah, NCAA's prepared me. Sherrone should have, instead of fucking around, should have been playing some Madden probably. But anyways,
facts.
Just kidding. We'll have our fun with it. Actually, did I upload that yet? Did I? Oh, I did. Oh, I got a picture I want to get up here. Actually, remember this?
Yeah, I do.
We should keep that one. We really gotta build our library up. But
I know.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, I feel good about absolutely everything except one thing, but we don't gotta get into that right
now. Okay. We'll keep it mysterious.
Well, we all know what it is. I've hit on it like 20 times already. There's no need to beat the horse again. Let the horse live,
Well, listen, I think this is a good one kind of take to wrap the Whittingham discussion, is that Whittingham is excited because he's never had this level of talent. He was talking about in the press conference that at Utah, guys would need a year or two to develop. They wouldn't usually start right away, and he'd be developing like 2, 3, occasionally 4 star talent over time. And I think one of the things he's most excited about based on today's press conference is that he's got guys like Savion Hyder that look like they could start right away as a true freshman. And I think he's excited for being able to coach an entirely new level of talent than he coached at Utah, which he called a developmental school.
Yeah, he did. That's right. He did. And guess what? Good for us, because, and that's what we talked about. Like, one of the things he said in the press conference that stood out to me is the kids are more ready-made. They are further along the progression and the developmental curve when you arrive. That's what I mean. These coaches are not used to having that level of talent. He said we essentially had 2 and 3 stars, the occasional 4. Well, now you have 4 and 3 and 4 stars, and you have some 5 stars. Like, it is a higher breed. The blue chips, I think we're over 40 blue chips right now. Utah is one of those schools that's under 10, right? I'd have to look, but it's not more than 10, if anything. now you have these coaches who have developed kids at a lower starting point. Now what now and all right, this actually this falls right into my one concern that I didn't want to talk about.
Okay.
My concern is the front six, front seven. But this coaching staff, and Witt hit on it because they asked them about the trenches, and we'll talk about the level of talent still, but or the level of talent at there's coming into Michigan. But the fact this coaching staff should be able to develop these athletes, these balls of clay, right? These balls of clay that should shape and develop and build these kids into a quality front six, a quality front seven. That is the one thing. That is the one thing that has me not jumping from a fucking window. To be honest, I mean that's a little extreme. I just posted a GIF about jumping from a window. That's why I said it. But the point is like that's the one thing that I am very concerned about our front six, front seven. But this coaching staff gives me a quiet confidence that they're gonna figure it because. And then you have Jay Hill and his scheme. And I'll tell you this right now. People say all the time, trust the coaches, trust the coach. I don't believe in that shit, but I do now. I do right now. I don't believe in trusting the coaches. I fucking hate when people say that. You know how many times I know, like I'll say the coach is a fucking idiot. I'll say that all the time. We talked about it with our previous staff.
Oh yeah. All the time. Remember our discussions about Ron Bellamy?
I know. Well, came to mind as well. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Or how about our excellent fucking special teams coordinator? What was his damn name again?
JB Brown. And there was a lot of Brown going on in the special teams. I'll tell you what.
Anyways,
as in cock-a-doodoo.
Cock-a-doodoo, bro. Shout to Maniac.
This is maniac shit. Yeah.
Fucking dude, like, no. Fuck that. If I don't believe in what I'm seeing, and I have watched enough football to I know I can tell if something's right or wrong. Many of you can as well. You can innately. You don't even need to know if something feels off. No. I have a quiet confidence. I do have a trust in this coaching staff. I think they can have a quality front six, front seven. Is it going to be elite? If it's elite, if they're able to pull an elite front six, front seven out of this group of players, with the John Henry Daly being an unknown, then shit. Then we are very, very fortunate to have a very good developmental coaching staff. But I believe it will at least be it'll at least be competent. And as long as it's competent with Jay Hill's defensive approach, then we're gonna be just fine. And that's okay. Like I'm currently projecting a top 25, top 30 defense, not a top 20, not a top 10, which we're used to. And the only reason why I'm projecting top 25, top 30 is because there are some unknowns. But maybe Jay Hill can surprise me. But to the point, John, where the premise of this point is that the starting point and the level, the archetypal player, the level of athlete, bro, they didn't have a Nate Marshall. They didn't have a Carter Meadows. John Henry Daly is the fucking kid you find on a farm in Iowa. You get one of those. We had one in Chase Winovich, like those white kids with the try-hard motor. You know what I mean? Like they're just dogs and something's not right, Kyle, Vandenbosch, if anyone remembers him from the Titans. That dude we used to wear red eye contacts. They're just all fucked up, But they're dogs, great football players, and that's what John Henry Daly is too. He's another high motor kid. But I just feel that something that I'm confident us Michigan fans can be confident in is this staff is going to be able to do, the question is, they've always done more with less, but can they do more with more, John? Can they do more with more? And you know what? I believe they can. And that's not Michigan.
So too.
That's not Michigan bias. That's just knowing football. Like I'm aware of Kyle. We are aware of Kyle Whittingham. We've looked at Jay Hill. We've looked at Jason Beck. We are aware of these other coaches, the Alex Whittinghams, the fucking the Harding, the offensive line coach is one of the best, if not the best offensive line coach in the nation. You got your Larry Black, one of the top 15 defensive line coaches in college football. You have these quality coaches who should do very well with the talent they have here at Michigan. Like, it sucks we have to wait. I'm ready. I'm ready to watch a spring game. I'm ready for fucking week 1.
6 more months.
I'm ready.
At least we will, you TJ, you'll be at the spring game, and a bunch of people are going to the spring game. And I'm hoping that they show it the same day and we don't have to wait a week.
Yeah, I don't know. I know. They did last year, yeah.
I will be watching it from a hotel in we're going away, and I have a conference, and then we're taking the weekend after, and so I'm hoping that I'll be able to watch it from the hotel. But either way, I think we'll at least get to see some bits and pieces, and it's exciting. It is.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
Tell me if you disagree in the chat, guys. But was the Kyle Whittingham press conference not a breath of fresh air? Were you not like, I'll tell you right now, I couldn't wait to watch it. I could not wait to watch it. Like I had some shit to do earlier. I saw some things on Twitter getting posted, but I wanted to watch the full Kyle. And I was just like, football is here. Boys, we're going to get updates weekly right now. Visits are now picking up. There's visits, which recruiting is going to, I know we've talked about recruiting. It still has been dead. It has, like, there's, and Kyle Whittingham talked about that too. The slow start, but they're not really worried about that right now, which they shouldn't be. They'll be just fine. NIL makes it so that's not as much of a factor anymore. But yeah, so now it will pick up. Like, things are momentum, the visits, official visits, unofficials, all that shit. So excited now. I'm ready. I'm although I love my Kobe Bryant versus LeBron James debates and mozzarella sticks with honey mustard discussions. Those are good discussions. Those are a good time.
Or as my wife Courtney would say, Michael Jackson being the best basketball player of all time. Y'all remember that from a year ago.
Yeah.
Great off-season topics.
Hey, MJ, bro. The initials are the same.
That GOAT.
Yeah, MJ. But yeah, dude, fucking but yeah, no, we're here, and I'm excited. It's and then you got March Madness, and you got Frozen 4. We're doing good, boys. We're looking good everywhere. Yeah. So let's keep it going.
And that topic is coming up. But before we get there, it's time for sponsor and super chats. So we do want to thank one more time our newest sponsor, Freedom Services EPC. Thank you so much to Freedom Services EPC. For everything that you do. And so let me pull up the description again. So quality you can trust, people you can count on, serving all of the USA's oil and gas needs. freedomservicesepc.com. Thank you. In addition to that, we do have our super chats. Go ahead, and if you have any last minute ones, get them in, and we will we'll read them. But let's start with Marmar. TJ, I told you Tommy Carr was him. Marmar told you. Also asking, was LJ Kaysen the best player? I'm guessing, okay. Or LeBron James. Is that
no, it's LJ Kaysen. It's no, fuck. If it was LeBron James, Marmar knows better than to bring up LeBron James to me. I'm just kidding. Okay, so Marmar was another one who really was high on Tommy Carr. Marmar was 100%. He loved Tommy Carr. So yeah, shout out to Marmar on that. He got it. I felt Tommy Carr was intriguing. I listen, did I project or think Tommy Carr would be QB2 on March 17th potentially? No, hell no, I did not. But hey, shout out to you, shout out to Quinn. You guys were two individuals who were definitely high on Tommy Carr. I will be honest, I kind of was like, oh, all right, well, let's see, we'll see what he can bring to the table, Now, regarding the LJ case, okay, so Marmar told me a few weeks ago, maybe a month, might have been a month by now, and he's like, he thinks LJ, and I think he might have brought this up on the call-in show, and he brought up, he thought LJ Kaysen was the best player on the team, and I was like, dude, listen, it's Yaxel, bro. Like, I mean, I know LJ is incredibly important, and I know LJ has been. I mean, LJ was looking great. He was coming on. Like, he was fucking great player, bro. Like, LJ Kaysen is such a nice player. He is. He's a good player. Best backup point guard in the nation. And since we've lost LJ Kaysen, and I posted a tweet the other day that gained a lot of traction, and I said, the LJ Kason's not being talked, the injury is not being talked enough. I don't even know if people fully know what I meant by that. Like, I'm saying, all right, first let me answer this question. I still believe Yaxel Landenberg is the best player on the team, but not having the backup point guard to your second unit is fucking killing us because Elliot Cadeau is being heavily dependent on. Trey McKinney's not quite a distributor. And it's just hard. The team has not played well since losing LJ Kason. I still hold the position that Yaxel Landenberg is the best player on the team. Like, he is. But LJ Kason is a critical piece. I mean, I don't want to say I almost want to say he's like the third probably most important player on the team. But he might, and I mean that only because of his role, not because of his ability. Like, he's a very good player. I mean, I think more as Johnson or you could maybe Ade Mara might be a little more just in terms of their impact, have more impact. But LJ Kason's a great player. Now, and what I meant by my tweet by saying it's not being talked about enough, I'm not sure we can win a Natty without him.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. But the team needs time to find themselves without him. Like, they just lost him. The Yaxel Landenberg ankle. We'll get into that. We're going to talk Michigan basketball a little bit.
Yes, we are.
I'm still of the opinion Yaxel's the best player on the team. But LJ's, I mean, listen, I'll say this, Mar. I'll tell you, Mar, here's where I will come to you. LJ Kason's impact on this team was greater than I thought it was.
Yeah.
I'll say that. It was greater than I thought it was.
Yeah. I think Yaxel Yaxel's the best player just because of the clutch. When he puts the clutch gene on, he
leads the team in every statistic, like rebounding, like scoring. I mean, like fucking everything. He's leading the team. I mean, like I assure you, if LJ Kason was healthy and we didn't have Yaxel Landenberg, we wouldn't be the same team either. Like the thing that sucks is to win a Natty, you need them all.
Right.
Like what gave me the confidence that we were gonna we would be a Natty and potentially one of the greatest Michigan teams ever, even though we fucking fumbled the bag a little bit. And we're gonna hit on this because I have a very strong take that I want to give when we talk Michigan basketball that I just don't think people take serious. Whatever, we'll get into it. But I mean, look, if we lost Yaxel, we wouldn't be the same team either. I mean, it's just they're two incredibly important players.
Absolutely.
If we lost LA Cadeau, we'd be fucking in trouble, bro. Like,
we'd be in trouble. Yeah,
it takes everybody, man.
Our daddy says JJ Buchanan reminds me of Mike Evans. That's a really good comparison. I've watched a lot of Mike Evans, and I can see that.
He would need more weight.
Yeah, he would. But
Doug
Elisai is the guy to do it, to keep bulking him up.
Mm-hmm.
French should be the punt returner, kick returner, but what about Marsh? Dude is as slippery as a greased pig. First guy never gets him to the ground. What about Marsh?
I actually think you'll see Travis Johnson or potentially Micah Capana. We talked about Tony Alford mentioned Capana in special teams roles as well.
Yes, he did.
Capana, which we've been fucking yelling for. Capana, Travis Johnson, Moa. I think those will be your returners.
GT with the 10 after seeing the basketball program spending chart, which was surprising.
We should have talked about that. Yeah.
I think little brother needs to stop giving lifetime pensions to their parking lot attendants and start getting better players.
It would be wise, GT, but little brother's gonna little brother, GT. They like to spend money on silly things. Remember when like photo shoots and things like that, they're focused on the wrong things, GT. They don't focus on themselves, they focus on everybody else, and they wonder why they're always falling short in the tournament. Maybe it's because Izzo doesn't quite have the same, all right, I'm gonna be honest here. They're living on Izzo's past.
Yeah. He won a Natty in 2000.
I know.
So
he's a good coach. No one's saying he's not a good coach, and no one's saying he's not going in the Basketball Hall of Fame. Yes, he's going to the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Of course he is.
But dude, he's a crybaby now, man. And it's actually a shame. I don't fucking it's
little brother syndrome. And I think I think he's fallen off a bit. I mean, obviously 2019, I think, was the last like really, really, really great MSU team. But ever since then, yeah, I think they've been falling off. And the antics in the last rivalry matchup was just, you don't need that. You don't need that. Just take your L with dignity and go home. It would have looked so much better. Yeah, they beat us. We're going, okay, we're on to Cincinnati. You know, Bill Belichick, we're on. Yeah, we're moving on. GT also said we need to retire the number 0 so no one can remind us of Samaj the Flame Morgan.
Okay. All right. So Sandra still. I try to remember Sandra still, not Samaj the Flame Morgan, because that was a bad time. I try to forget the bad time, GT. I try to forget the Stromore era.
Yeah.
I do my best every weekend to lose that memory, if you know what I'm saying.
Sandra still is a good player.
Sandra still is a great player. Sandra still is a good player.
I think he still is.
So let's use 0. Sandra still 0. Samaj Morgan is forever forgotten.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Until he wins the Heisman at UCLA.
Jay asks, which players are coming in the summer? He mentioned that a few guys could come in to help. Also said he's happy with the weight room and mentioned defensive end. Yes, he did. He mentioned that.
He did. Well, all right. So I actually tried. All right. So he said there's a handful of freshmen that he thinks will have an impact year one. I actually went through my depth chart that I have built. My depth chart's built, boys. There's some, I do need to add some more, but like the freshmen and stuff. But the only players I can think of that would have an impact as freshmen are just Savion Hyder, Celeste Moa. I think Carter Meadows too small. And I mean, like, he needs to get his weight up. He's only like 230 right now. It's not 230, 235. That's not going to cut it unless they use him as like a NASCAR package or something. I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Jordan Deck, I mean, I don't know. So that's where I'm at. I think there'll be, I don't know who else the freshman would be that would come in starting. But the only two I can think that are realistic is Hyder and Moa. I don't know. Maybe I'm misreading it. I don't know. But like Carter Meadows, I don't know. I guess let's look at 247 and see.
Yeah, Carter Meadows could potentially. He bumped his weight up according to Michigander to 245.
Well, how did Nate Marshall do his freshman year? Because like I'm telling you, it's tough, man. How did
couple of small flashes and that was it.
How did Aiden Hutchinson do his freshman year? It's so hard, man. It's so hard as a defensive lineman. It's so hard for me to believe in that shit.
Couple on the Meadows train.
Yeah, I mean, I would love it. I mean, if there's anyone who could, it's Meadows. All right, Travis Johnson. Okay. All right, who do I think could? Okay, let's do this. So, all right, Moa, Hyder. I think Travis Johnson on special teams. That's 3. I'm gonna say Jordan Deck because I believe in. Everyone knows I love Jordan Deck. I was big on Jordan Deck. All right, I'm gonna go 4. Those are the 4 I would say.
Yeah, I'll throw Meadows in there.
I'd be curious.
Yeah. But Meadows, I'm not saying going to be getting all the reps. I'm saying there could be a Nate Marshall-esque. Hey, he flashes in here and there.
I'd be curious to see if one of the promising defensive linemen, Carter Meadows, obviously, but Titan David. I'll tell you who one would have been. Julian Walker.
Yeah.
Julian Walker would have been one.
Facts. Yes, he would have.
Fuck. Just give his dad a job. Like, what is? Listen, if you can give Paige Shiver a $90,000 job, you can definitely give.
Yep. Yeah, he did. Yeah. Big raise there. Yeah, well, she was getting other things too. Anyways. Hey, Ryan Hall with the 20. The press conference was a breath of fresh take of breath air. I see what you did there. You did there with the wordplay. Nice. I think it was too. And Chris Ballas said the same thing, and I agree with him. Like Chris Ballas said, and in retrospect, Whittingham was the best choice.
Dude, we said that. I mean, we actually talked about that. Like, I'm going to give Minnie, she ain't here tonight, but I don't think she's Elise, but she's the one who put me on I mean, don't get me wrong. I've always been a Utah. I've said this. Pac-12, Big 12, Utah's always been my team. But after the Kalen DeBoer win against Oklahoma and the Dillingham learning of the interview not going well didn't fit what Michigan was looking for, whatever the fuck that means. It was without question Kyle Whittingham to me. And that's why I made a post in December. Kyle Whittingham is the right man for the job. And it worked out because he actually got the job.
Facts. I like this one. GT. LeBron couldn't carry Michael Jackson's bags.
Nope.
That's
he'd
right.
Fall. He'd trip. He'd fall over. He'd fall over and hold his elbow and then his other elbow because he didn't know which one he hurt. Anyways, there's probably some LeBron fans here. Don't mind me. I still think he's the third best player. All right, I just like taking my shots on the guy. Pause.
Hey, Austin. Austin's back.
What's up, man? What's up, Austin?
What's up, boys? Been a minute. Yeah, it's been a minute. Great to see you there.
Whose fault's that, Austin? We've been here the whole time. I'm just messing.
Ryan's back. Another 20. Appreciate you. Michigan versus Ohio State. Big Ten hockey tournament title this Saturday.
Do we know what time that is? Because I'm going out. What time? Do we know what time that game is? We should figure that out. It's got to be at night. It better be at night.
So Saturday, March 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, I think I might be going to Art and Jake's, boys. Let's go. Or Twin Peaks might be in the future. We'll figure it out. I'm going out for that one. That would be a good one to go for. Get some fucking cheese sticks, some Blue Moon. Count me in.
There you go. Ari Daddy, don't ever let OSU fans talk shit without reminding them whose name is plastered all over campus, including the athletic building. Notorious Epstein files. Tons of mentions in the files. Les Wexner. That's right, folks.
It's not true. It's definitely true. I mean, it's a thing. It's a thing. Listen, every time, what's funny is, the Ohio State fans, the clowns they are, they love to Alex Ude and the doctor and like, all right, first of all, we have no fucking control over these people. All right. So check yourself. Second of all, whenever because I observe many things. And one of the things I've been aware of for some time is the Lex Wexner situation. And that's pretty fucking, if you want to go down that rabbit hole, pretty wild. So, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, they have no legs to stand on about Alex Ude now.
And then not only that, they were talking shit about Schlessel and fucking Sharon. And what does their president do?
An inappropriate relationship.
Jesus, do you not understand? Let me give you a little life lesson here. A lot of these people in powerful positions are scumbags. I'm sorry. It's unfortunately true. I mean, listen, it's fucking, I won't go too down a deep road down here, but listen, I played on a hockey team and I've learned many years later that the doctor who did my physical, by the way, nothing funny, by the way. Got fucking caught up in some shit, bro. And I'm just and I'll be real with you, as in my youth, I never really liked the guy, to be honest. A lot of people loved him. And he was a top, he was the doctor for all the top teams in Michigan and shit. But anyways, regardless, the point is you never know. So stop fucking throwing rocks at you guys got the same fucking, your issues might even be worse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But just, you ain't
wrong. You ain't throwing rocks when you have glass houses.
In my opinion, sports fans should only keep it sports. Because we have absolutely zero. Well, listen, we have no control over the outcome of the sports either, but we are fans of our teams. But at the end of the day, the administrative bullshit is beyond any of us. It is what the fuck it is. And people with power are gonna abuse power. Guess what? I promise you, pick up a history book and guess what? I can project the future. It ain't changing. It ain't. I'm sorry, it's not.
Well, GT couldn't help himself. He had to pile onto this, and I expected that. GT saying Buckeyes don't even care that their empire was built on human trafficking. They are too worried about signs.
Yes,
and
they are.
and burgers and hammers.
That's so
and
funny.
Massive.
That's so fucking funny, dude. I
Yeah.
love this community. I love this community. Like no filter, boys. F it.
Good question from Ryan here. How did you guys feel about the Bryce Underwood talk? So I think I felt good. I felt like when Kyle Whittingham was, I'm assuming you mean what Kyle Whittingham said.
Yeah.
Well, clear number one, QB1 without a doubt, performed very well in workouts. He was voted a team captain as a young player. He's a guy that everyone looks to. He does, I like that that they're gonna emulate what they did with Devin Dampier. And remember, we talked about that very early when it was like, is Bryce gonna come back? Okay. We talked about Devin Dampier and what Kyle Whittingham, Jason Beck, and Coy Detmer Jr. were able to do with Devin Dampier and to develop his talent over the time. If they were able to do that for him, I think Bryce Underwood is more talented, like raw talent. If they can get him right, I'm with everything that Whittingham said. He didn't oversell it at all.
Yeah, well, I'll just say this. What he said today has matched what I've heard, which that the off season's being taken very seriously, and they have a very structured program in all 4 phases: winter, spring, summer, and fall. And listen, they know they have a kid that they can't let down, and they did last year. They did. So
they let him down.
They did let him down. So listen, we already saw who his quarterback coach was in phase 1, which was Jesse Palmer, extremely respected QB coach, the best quarterbacks. You'll see him on pro days. You'll see him running the script and running the
Jordan. You mean Jordan? Is Jordan Palmer?
That's Jesse Palmer?
Yeah.
No, it's Jesse, isn't it? Or is it Jordan? I don't know.
Jesse's the TV personality.
All right, they're not. Yeah, whatever. Aren't they fucking brothers? Isn't Jordan, Jesse, and Carson Palmer all brothers? I'm pretty sure they are.
So. Yeah.
How wild is it? All them fucking, let's see, siblings.
Yeah. Yeah. Jordan's the QB whisperer. Jesse's the host of The Bachelor.
Yeah, same shit.
And
the same initials.
But and also does sports casting, of course. But yeah, no. I to your point though, the fact that Bryce Underwood took
they're not related.
They're not related. The fact that Bryce Underwood took the initiative to learn from Jordan Palmer, and to I do believe it's hard because you have to pick and choose what you believe from last year and what the coaches were saying. But the one thing that I do believe is that his work ethic is really strong, and Kyle Whittingham has said the same thing.
That's crazy.
So yeah,
Jesse Palmer
I'm excited about that.
Too. That's crazy. Yeah, no, listen, I know I'm tied up on that. It just blew my mind.
I kind of thought they were related, so I'm
dude. Well, they all played in the NFL. Who fucking
all the Palmers, yeah.
Who knew? Okay, so I guess that's my fault. But yeah, no, listen. Here's the truth. It sounds good. It sounds nice. I have no reason to not think they're putting in the work, and we should. I'd put money that we're going to see a better quarterback. I really would. I mean, it's like, and like when I say that, like when I say I'd put money, when I bet shit, I only bet shit I'm really confident. Now, it doesn't mean I win everything, but I win. I often win. I don't always win, but I often win. But and y'all know I've done plenty of bets on the fucking show. I've won. I've won. But Google me. But fucking yeah. No, at the end of the day, listen, boys, I'm going to tell you, Buckeyes aren't going to want to hear this. I believe it is how it looks. I believe it is how it looks right now. Now, we could find ourselves week 4, in the season, being like, "What the fuck? Did we just get lied to again? Did we fall for it again?" Like Sharon Moore's first year, remember?
Mm-hmm.
We were believing the hype out of camp. Shit, we took a more cautious approach this year, but
Yeah, we did.
Even so, I listen. I do have trust in his coaching staff.
Me too. Much
They've
more
not
than
given me a
before.
reason not to, and I'm excited about a lot of them. You know,
I think we took the approach in the offseason and into 2024 that we should have taken in terms of, hey, we're going to wait and see, but here's what we're reporting from camp, and here's the things. And maybe we got a little excited, but I don't think there's anything wrong with giving the coaching staff the benefit of the doubt for the first year after the Natty, that they would be able to keep it together enough. But then we learned. And then when you learn, you shift and you adapt based on your experience. That's life. So we did that, and I think we should give the Whittingham staff the benefit of the doubt, especially with the experience that they have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Rod Moore is going to wear the number 1 jersey.
Oh,
that's interesting. And then this is pretty beautiful to look at. It's like a fucking Mona Lisa. Isn't that pretty? That's Savion Hyder. Yeah. We were right. That was Savion. We caught him.
Just barely.
Ooh, Underwood. Damn.
He's ready to pop.
Right, you want to know how we have a sickness? This picture excites me.
Oh yeah.
Like this is cool. I got Underwood. I got Hyder. And like I'm just amped. Now I know what's crazy about this picture though. Both his feet are like off the fucking ground. Like his toes are barely touching, dude. Like, can't wait. I'm ready.
I think they're all. I'm ready. I think they're all chomping at the bit to get on the field and show the differences that exist now.
But I'll tell you what that picture tells you though. Now it's possible it's just rotations, but it tells me that they already have Hyder running with the ones. Now, it doesn't mean Marshall's not running with the ones, but my point is like typically, now I guess it depends. I mean, it's possible they're just running through rotations and.
Yeah, it could be rotations. It could be.
Could be. But I'm going to make the assumption. He's running with ones. So we'll see.
I mean, maybe it's a situation where also Capana and some of the other running backs are also, and they're trying everybody out. I mean, that could be too. It's early. It's day one. This is the time to do that. All right. So that does it for super chats, which means we are headed to our next topic, which is, can Michigan win a basketball natty? So we know that March is unpredictable and anything can happen. But without Kason, can Michigan beat teams like Arizona? So here is the path. So first, Michigan has to beat either Howard or UMBC. If they beat them, which I think is pretty fair, then they have to face either Georgia or St. Louis, then Bama or Texas Tech most likely, and then someone in the Iowa State, Virginia, Tennessee, Kentucky to be able to get to the Final Four. So do we think that with the talent that they have, that Dusty May will be able to figure it out and potentially win a natty still?
Yeah, look, I think Michigan thankfully has, and we should bring up the full bracket, I suppose, but I think Michigan has the best path, the easiest pathway to a natty, so that's good. For me, I think, and I don't know who's filled out the brackets yet, but I think you can put Michigan in the Final Four. The question to me,
I did.
Yeah, the question to me, NCAA bracket. The question to me is, how's the Final Four going to go? Because that's when it's going to get real. Listen, I'm a firm believer Michigan can handle. I'm a firm believer that Michigan can handle all of these teams, just like they have. I mean, obviously Okay, I'm pulling up the bracket right now. I mean, listen, obviously we had our struggles with Wisconsin. Wisconsin was able to do that, but when you look at this bracket, John. Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about Howard or UMBC, St. Louis. I'm definitely not worried about Texas Tech, I mean, obviously is a respectable program. That's one we would need to worry about. Iowa State is a respectable program. But to me, it's when we get to the Final Four, and then we got to go against Arizona. Arizona is a team that is very good. And that's where I'm worried. I'm worried once we get to Final Four. I think we are going to get to the Final Four. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I do think it's going to be easy until we get to, I think we're going to crush Howard, UMBC. I think we'll crush St. Louis. Or it's Georgia. I'm just not worried about it. Texas Tech is a respectable opponent. And then the other team I'm worried about in this bracket is Iowa State. That's it. I'm not really worried about the other teams personally. But then once we get to Arizona, we can win it, but the team's got to be able to. But that's the thing too, though. The team's going to be in, the thing about the tournament is, look, you get a week to prepare. When the Final Four comes, they're going to know, they're going to be prepped for it. The boys will be rested. I believe it goes the Elite Eight and the Final Four the same weekend, I believe. Actually, they have it here. Oh, no, the Elite Eight is, Final Four is April 4th. The Elite Eight is the 28th and the 29th. Okay, so it's with the Sweet 16. I'm sorry, I'm dumb. It's with the Sweet 16. All right, so exactly. They're going to have a week in preparation for the Final Four. That's what gives me confidence. And they're going to need it. But Dusty May's great in March. We know that. Dusty May's fucking elite in March. So let's see. The team that worries me the absolute most is Duke.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, Duke is a tough team.
Duke and Florida are going to figure that out for us. Now, what if Duke gets upset? If Duke gets upset, and then Arizona's our biggest roadblock, and then obviously there'll be a team on the, on the left side of the bracket here. But I don't know. We have the good news for us is we have the best path of any top team. That's the good news. Yeah, their starting point guard is out, but their starting point guard, from my research, is not it's not Yaxel. It's not, it's not Boozer, right? So we'll see. Oh, I didn't know Texas Tech was out of their starting point guard. So that's interesting. All right. Well, Texas Tech is out of the point guard. That obviously matters. So yeah, I mean, look, I think Michigan's got a great opportunity here. So we'll see. I mean, now here's now John, give your take, and then I want to give an opinion that I think is crazy that it's not more normalized.
So obviously Arizona, I think Arizona is a big threat. With Duke is too, but I think it could very well be some type of Arizona Michigan matchup at some point, and to get to that title. And so I think Michigan has a path. I think it's a clear path. I think they can beat especially the first couple of teams that I've listed here. Once we get to the Final Four, like you said, they're going to really need to bring it. They're going to hopefully have figured out with these weeks of prep and these other games, they've figured out their rhythm. They figured out the, where everybody is, their plays, their, how they're going to do this without LJ.
Right. And that's what they got to do. They got that second unit off the bench. So we were 9 deep. Now we're really 8. And Roddy Gale's fucking inconsistent. We need Amari Burnett to be hot. We need we need his shooting to be hot. We need Mara and Morez to dominate. See, that's what blew my mind. When we lost the Big Ten championship game, Dusty was like, well, we needed to play more physical. Why are we not playing more physical? We have the biggest front court. Anyways, we lost. All right, so let me hit on this, John. College basketball is a unique sport where winning the Natty, where you don't have to win the Natty to be considered a successful season. It is my opinion, if Michigan does not win the Natty, it is a not successful season. And I already see certain individuals trying to frame it where, well, if Michigan can make it to the Final Four or the Elite Eight, it's a successful season. Fuck that, dude. I'm sorry. I do not accept that. Listen, if we do not win the national championship, it is a wasted opportunity. We have a national championship caliber team. It was a wasted opportunity. We didn't win the Big Ten tournament. We should have won the Big Ten tournament. We did not win the Big Ten tournament. That's a wasted opportunity. I don't care. Coming in second does not, like, that is done. The old way of college basketball, I hope, is going away. They made a Final Four. No, fuck that, dude. Guys, we have been to 2 national championship games in the last, what was it, 12 years, 14 years, 13 years, whatever the hell Louisville year was that 2012, 2013? I don't even know anymore. Peyton Silva, Peyton Silva, by the way, former Piston. No. If we don't win a national championship, this is a failed season. Let me know in the chat if you disagree with that. That's fine. But I don't understand. I don't comprehend.
Moose agrees.
This team is a great team that unfortunately has fallen short a couple times. We fell short against Wisconsin. We fell short against the Big Ten championship game. And we fucking better not fall. I mean, hopefully the boys make it. But if they don't make it, if we do fall short, if we lose in the national championship game, or we lose in the Final Four, or we don't make it to either one of those, points, I'm sorry. I cannot find this season successful. It is unfortunately a failed season. Oh, well, that pressure, it's unrealistic. No, F that. What do you mean it's unrealistic expectation? Why is it in every other sport, if you don't win a national championship, it's not successful? Now, granted, I understand in football. I understand in basketball. I understand in all the 4 majors. Trust me, I'm a sports guy. I watch it all. I am aware that each franchise is at different progressions in their franchise. And for example, the Red Wings, how about this? Let's use the fucking Red Wings, who are breaking my heart right now, even though they just won last night. A successful season for the Red Wings is going to be make the playoffs. Okay, I understand that there are, in pro sports, there are levels to success. Like the Lions making the playoffs 2 years ago for the first time in a long time, or winning the NFC North is a successful season. But guess what? For the Lions, if they don't win a Super Bowl now, it's not considered successful. For Michigan basketball, the same applies. If they do not, because the turnover is so great at the college level, if Michigan does not win a national championship, to me, it is a failed, unfortunately, as hard as it is, as much as it sucks to say, a failed season. Like, fuck this participation trophy shit. Like, it's not. I don't care. It's not good enough. It's not.
Natty or bust, according to TJ.
For me, that's where I stay on this basketball team. This team is too talented. It should be a national championship team.
Yeah. It's tough because of such a heavy hitter going down. And obviously Yaxel with his injury, it is tough, but I think we came into the season with the promise and who they brought back, that this would be a Natty season. I think at the bare minimum, Final Four for me is
what does that?
Hoping.
All right, John, I'm gonna be go on.
Yeah. But I would like a Natty, and I think it's time. Michigan hasn't won a basketball Natty in a long time. Why not?
All right, so we have some people in the comments who they don't agree, and that is completely fine and acceptable. You are right. You have every right to not agree with my position. That's fine. Yeah. But guys, can we just be honest? You know what I think? All right, if we say, all right, if they make the Final Four, or if they make the Elite Eight, or because they've won the regular season Big Ten, but guys, that doesn't matter. It's not okay, that's great. Like, these are things along the way, just like in football, beating Little Brother, beating Ohio State, winning the Big Ten. Guys, let me ask you a question. If the 2023 team won the Big Ten championship but didn't win the national title, is that successful? Then why do we not hold the same standard to the basketball team? And you want to know what I believe? Cope. I believe it adds a layer of protection from not getting hurt. Well, the boys tried hard and it was good enough. No, it's not good enough. Because listen, like football, like basketball, regular season championship, the tournament conference championship, national championship. We have been to the Final Four, boys. I've seen Final Fours. I've seen national championship games in basketball. I have not seen Michigan basketball win a national championship. Now, someone at the screen must say, well, TJ, that's a you problem. Like that's not a Michigan. No, but it is. It is a Michigan problem because it is my opinion that Michigan is actually a very prestigious basketball program that just lacks national championships. We have one, but we have so much else. We are a top 15 basketball program. If we win a few national titles, we get in the top 10 conversation. And then if you can sustain a level of success, and I believe we can under Dusty May, you start creeping into other conversations. And that's where I'm trying to get. Because then you have schools like fucking Indiana, who's historic and prestigious, but guess what? They suck. And then you start creeping your way up. And there's no reason Michigan basketball cannot be at an even higher level. And the donors are doing, the school and the donors are giving that program all the resources it needs to succeed, clearly. But at the end of the day, boys, if this team that was on pace for one of the best seasons of all time, it really was for a while, does not win a national championship, it is, unfortunately, as much as it sucks, a failed season, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think we gotta shoot for it all. I think if you ask anybody, they're gonna tell you that they want the Natty. And I just, based on the play that I've seen the last few games, it's tough for me to predict a Natty. It just is. I mean, the way that they played,
it's hard. Well, yeah. No, I know.
They played good at times. They obviously clutched out the game before, but then they obviously dropped the one, the Big Ten title. So to Purdue. So it's like, I don't know what to expect really.
Okay, but like why? But like
flashes and
like guys, I feel. All right, I'm sorry, John. I cut you off. Go ahead.
I've seen good flashes and I've seen opportunities.
Sure, but like, all right. So my man here, under par, shout out to you, man, was on pace until injuries hit. That's fucking life. The Lions, guys, I know a football team that got killed by injuries and didn't make the playoffs this year. It's a failed season. I'm sorry. Like, it's the way it goes. Like, guess what? If my objective is to travel the Oregon Trail and make it to the Pacific Ocean because I want to go get some gold, right? And I fucking drown in the Mississippi River, it's a failed trip. It doesn't, like, just because things occur on the journey, right? The journey, things can happen. Guys, I know this is college basketball, but the turnover rate is so great. It's not like you're building. It's not like a professional franchise where like you're building to a national champion. No. You can be a national championship caliber team, which, all right, let me ask you this. Are we or are we not a national championship caliber team?
Yes.
Yet, if we fall short of a national championship, it's not considered a failed season. Why? Because it hurts too much to say it. That's why. Well, I don't walk that road, bro. Guess what? What did Tony Alford tell us last Tuesday, John?
He told us a lot of things. He was here for an hour and 10 minutes.
About winning. Yeah, I know.
It's always about winning. Just win.
That's right. It's no one cares. You have to win. You have to, like, I'm sorry. This is the most competitive, I mean, listen, I challenge. I understand Wall Street's competitive. I understand there's many industries of high competitive level, things outside of athletics, but my point is, in athletics, it is some of the it is extremely competitive, and it is extremely competitive to the point where literally losing costs you your future, your job, and anything. Now, no one's job's on the line. This isn't to that extent. I'm not, but my point is, like, it is a results business, winning, losing. And if Michigan, who is a national championship contender, and what are the odds? What did the odds do right before our show, John? It tied for number one, right?
We were third, and now we're tied for number one.
But we're going to tell ourselves, if we don't win a national title, it's still a successful year. F that. I ain't buying it, bro. I do not want any of that stock. Don't put me in that. I don't want anything to do with that stock. I'm selling on that. Michigan's got to win it, and if they don't win it, then unfortunately it was not a successful season. It was a good season. Like there's no one to say it wasn't a good season. Good season, but it's not a truly successful season unless we win a national title.
Austin has a take.
One last thing.
Yeah,
if we would have won the Big Ten tournament and still lost the national championship, I would have said the same thing. I'd say the same thing. It's Natty or bust, boys. I'm sorry. That's my position.
Okay, fair enough. Austin here with the 20. We can win, but our offense is so stagnant. I also don't know why we don't just bury it down low until they go all in on stopping it. Then we kick it out for wide open shots. Mara can't be stopped in the paint.
Yeah.
I wonder if was that because the offense or because some of the teams we've been facing lately are so defense heavy? Big Ten. Defense in football, defense in basketball.
We've been out of sync since the LJ Kayson injury. Like our offense is just not, but even the first team is struggling. I mean, the problem with Mara though is he can get physical down low. Like he needs all right, there is some buzz that Merez Johnson and Mara may come back next year. Mara needs to get stronger. Like he's very twiny. And when he puts the ball up, he can easily get knocked off. Like when he puts the ball up high, he can easily be knocked off balance. And you see it all the time. He loses the ball when he does that. Like it gets knocked out of his hands. He loses balance. He can get out physical. That's the one thing about Mara that's frustrating. But I mean, he's young. He's got to develop. But the problem is, who is our outside shooters that we can count on? Now, Cadeau's been a solid shooter all year, but he needs to be that. Namari Burnett is like hot and cold. And Yaxel has been nice, but even he's had some poor shooting performances, which he's even called himself out on.
Yeah. He has.
Trey McKinney's been really good. Here's the truth too. I want to say this. For us to win a national championship, Trey McKinney's really got to step up. He's got to take the load of the loss of LJ Kayson. But what sucks is that wasn't his role all year. He was playing off of LJ. Now he has to be more of a primary, and we'll see if he can handle it. I mean, he's a very good player. I'll tell you right now, if we can get McKinney back next year, we get Mara back next year, as well as Merez Johnson. That's a great foundation for the next team.
For sure.
But we'll see. And LJ back, obviously.
If anyone can do it, I think it's Dusty May. Get all these guys back. Our daddy also says Mark could average a triple-double if we feed him.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but
it's a big statement. Yeah,
they got the problem is you're rotating three bigs throughout the game at the 4 and the 5. But no, look. Well, also who's on too? I mean, like look at the Purdue game was like the offense got really stagnant. There was no answer. Like, and the team was it couldn't find itself. Now, hopefully Dusty's got something in his back. Now, here's the good news. The first weekend, Michigan should really build some confidence, get some momentum going. And then you're playing on the same schedule as everybody else. You get like 4 or 5 days off, and then you got a game. So, and look, Dusty does very well in March. I feel very good. Final Four is where I have Michigan, and the Arizona matchup has me concerned. That's why I think Arizona will make it, but we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you, our daddy, and everybody who's been super chatting and being here. We do want to remind everybody that, as always, we have not one but 2 shows every week, and we have the call-in show Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So we want everybody to stay tuned for that with TJ as well as Johnny Olden Jr. I'm excited to see what types of debates y'all come up with.
Yeah, last week was the LeBron Kobe debate. That was a fun
I remember.
It's so funny.
Every year, because this happened last year too.
Yeah, it comes around once a year. I mean, we'll that's what the show's for, though. Although no, the show's actually to talk debate Michigan or football, really. But it was a slow part of the year. We took some liberties, But yeah, we'll have a good show. I actually kind of know where I want to go with it Thursday. Actually, I mean, listen, we're going to talk spring ball. I want to talk Michigan basketball. I want to present my premise to the audience Thursday. Actually, so if you're listening now and you disagree with my position that a successful season resides on a national championship or not, call in Thursday. Let's debate. I'm here for it. Give me your argument. Change my mind. I'm a very open-minded individual. I am not a closed-minded individual, but you better convince me for me to adjust my opinion. I don't believe in a fixed mindset. I really don't. I think it's dangerous. I think now I'm gonna get a little philosophical here. You never know what you don't know. So give me some perspective I don't have. Okay. So we're here for it. Thursday call-in show. Let's debate. Let's talk about it.
There it is. And before we sign off, we of course want to say happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. I hope everybody enjoyed it and had some, whatever it is, maybe some corned beef with some glaze or whatever, a cold one. I felt like, especially since I look like I could be the Lucky Charms mascot, that I would give everybody a little happy St. Patrick's Day there.
Dude, a lot of people celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Yeah. It is tough when there's no green in this facility, but that does make it tougher. Whittingham even talked about that.
That's all right, though.
Yeah.
Ugly color.
Yeah. Red and green. No way. Not here.
Yeah. All
right, folks. So don't forget to follow us at John Diadamo, at TJ_Ronin. Thank you, FanDuel. Thank you, Freedom Services. Thank you, community. Got so much coming up. I cannot wait. It is going to be a beautiful spring season coming up here. Any final thoughts, TJ?
We made it. We made it to spring ball. We made it to the check mark. We're at the checkpoint. We can get our fix for about 6 weeks here. We got March Madness. It's a good time, man. So let's enjoy it. Let's have some damn fun. It should go well. Let's watch the ride together, though.
Boom. All right, y'all. That does it. Until next time, it's always go blue, fuck Ohio, and we'll see you Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we'll see you then. All right, everybody. And also all the members, I just updated it. So for all those who stay,
nice.
you'll see your name up there at the end here.
Nice.